Hello everyone, welcome to Going 19, episode 25. Today we finish our discussion on It from Stephen King, covering the last couple chapters, the interlude, and our final thoughts. I am Ed, with me are Allie and Amber. Let's start the show. Hello everyone. Before we get started, we have to pay the bills real quick. So I would like to tell you about Anchor. Anchor is your free all-in-one podcast application. With Anchor, you have creation tools built in to record and edit your episodes straight from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute the podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple, and many other platforms. It even lets you monetize your podcast with no minimum listenership. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now. We use it, and so can you. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hello.
Oh, hello.
The gang's all here.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I forgot when the last one was.
I was about to say that. I have to remember how to do this again. It feels like it's been forever.
Good thing I finished the book last week.
Pretty sure. Yeah, I finished it before Christmas. I don't even remember what's going on. Well, it's something about a clown, right?
Actually, not really anymore.
More about a spider at this point.
Something about weird sex and spiders?
Yes.
Or not
Yeah.
weird sex and spiders? Whatever the word is.
It's also just confusing that it keeps switching back and forth, but it's the same event, so to speak. And I'm like, oh wait, no, they're kids again now. Okay, this hasn't happened yet.
Okay. Okay, stop. What are we on? 25?
I honestly have no idea.
I think so. I'm gonna call. Oh wait, let me look on my phone. Where are we? No, you can turn it off. Thank you. Let me see. I think we're on 25. 10 people listening to the last episode.
Wow, that's a lot more than I would have thought.
Yeah, we're moving up in the world. Yeah.
How many?
10.
Oh.
Yeah, but we're in 5 countries, so it's all spread out.
I did see that with the Spotify rep.
Yeah, we're one guy in Argentina and one in Germany. I'm like, yeah. Well, or girl, I don't know who that is.
It's exciting.
It's a small but select. It's exclusively worldwide. How about that?
Yes.
All right, so Going 19, episode 25. The rest of the book. I don't even remember what chapters we're doing. 21. Wait, we finished one short, right, Amber? Is that where we left off, or did we do one after that?
No, we did one less than we were supposed to.
Yeah.
We did not do Under the City, right? Because that's when
anyway
started. Okay, so that's where we're starting.
Yeah. Wow, that feels like forever ago.
It was forever ago. I'm ready to read the Anne Rice book now. Luckily, I had a Pink Floyd book to keep me company while we wait. What is that? 10:22.
Wait.
This book could have even. I'd have been okay. This book was longer.
Honestly, same. They could have just kept going.
Yeah, like you said, I don't want it to be over. I mean, I did and I didn't. I do remember the stand after that thing was 1,400 pages uncut, and after 1250, I was like, okay, I'm kind of over it now.
Okay, but no spoilers. This book has a much more satisfying ending.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's the whole point, because you're leading up to this big event at the end that you know is coming.
Yeah, it's Wait. You mean the confrontation?
Yeah, in both books, the whole thing is you're building the story and getting the background and the building the tension, and there's this battle of good versus evil.
Yeah, except you never get the confrontation in the other one. At least you get it.
That was my point, except for I said no spoilers.
Well, I didn't say that. And that was vague enough that some people get confronted, some don't. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And okay, that's a different book. Different time. It was a different time. I don't think that was Keystone Earth because that had Takuro Spirit and a Kansas City Monarchs logo when they went and visited the stand world.
Yeah. I mean, it could have happened in
Or maybe
more
we're
than
not
one.
in the main Earth and that was the real one, and we're just like a dream of something.
Would you say things are going 19?
Ooh, she said it.
He said it. He said it.
Like Family Guy. Oh, you said it.
Anyway,
I like the perspective from the, I want to say Pennywise, but I don't think it's that simple. The monster. I wish actually there had
Bob
been
Gray.
some more of that throughout the book.
yeah, me too.
What'd you say?
I said Bob Gray.
Oh, yeah, him
It's a
too.
joke.
Robert Gray. Bob Gray. Bob Gray. I didn't remember him saying that so much. Like I
didn't
remember Bob
remember
Gray
that at all. Oh, the
I
name.
remember Bob Gray from Dreamcatcher. I didn't remember him from It. And I guess it's just been that much longer since I read it.
Ooh, sorry.
Have you read Dreamcatcher?
No.
Some would say you're not missing much, but I liked it. That was his first after the accident book where he was like, "Can I still do this?"
Ah.
So, I was a big fan. His wife calls it the book with the shit weasels. Anyway, back to the book at hand.
Oh, one thing I was gonna say though, I do feel like hearing the voice of the monster. What is it? A glamour? Is that what they called it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one ever actually. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it does kind of in a way like humanize it. Like it makes it less monstrous because you actually get to like hear what it's thinking and like how it works and like how it operates.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and it's
I think-
definitely interesting, and you definitely can put those human emotions behind it, especially when it comes to like its children.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
a terrifying thought. Holy crap! Thousands of those things running around.
Yeah.
The thought of him like down there in the dark killing those things is like no. So much of the end of this was so gruesome.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a good point. This might be the most satisfying ending, even though it's never satisfying.
Well, a happy ending you could call it.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a Stephen King book. Only one
Besides
person
Eddie,
died.
but yeah, well.
Two people died, I guess, if you count Stan, but fuck Stan.
No one seems to count Stan.
I got no sympathy for Stan. I forget what
I
was gonna
do
say.
love how they like put so much importance on this. The number 7, and they're like, well, whatever, 5 is fine. Okay, maybe 4, whatever, or whatever. Doesn't matter. Just
right? Like, it shouldn't be able to work. You're down. You're
Yeah.
barely above halfway now. What's going on?
It's like 7 is so magical, but we can still make a circle. And I'm like, you can
What?
make a circle with 2
I
people.
mean,
Like,
you know, 5 can be. I can make a circle with just me. I just put my hands together. Yeah, I mean, yeah, 7's magical. I mean, 5's magical. Let's just change. It's a magical number. Yeah, he seemed to like really emphasize how 7 was important, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Whoa, I got to kill
Maybe-
somebody." So I guess 7's not that important.
He probably forgot he even said that because it's only mentioned like twice, and it doesn't ever come up again.
I know when I write, I can't remember like what I wrote 4 pages ago, and I always have to go back. I couldn't imagine trying to go back 1,000 pages to remember what the fuck you wrote.
oh God.
That would have been like 6 months ago.
If not more.
Yeah, well, the way he writes, if it was George Martin, it would have been 12 years ago.
Or never.
But yeah, there's that option too. I'm still waiting for, I think 2017, I stopped Dance of Dragons, which was the 5th book, because I didn't want to finish it till the 6th book came out. So I'm halfway through that, and I'm still waiting for the next book, which was supposed to be out at the end of 2017.
I don't know if it's coming through on the recording, but when you speak, that there's like a rhythmic like bumping almost.
A bumping? Is it me turning pages? Or?
Not unless you're going tick, 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 tick. Alec, can you hear that when he talks?
No, but I also have my dog in the background, so
Okay.
you
Maybe
might
it's
be
just
hearing
me.
her.
How about now? Do you still hear it?
I heard it once, but not. It was doing it like every half a second before. Talk more.
So, I was born in 1970. It was a different time then.
Yeah, it's still there. I mean, I can get over it. I just don't know if it's picking it up on the recording.
I don't hear whatever you're hearing, so.
Okay, maybe it's just me.
Right,
Sorry,
maybe
go
you're the one that's the problem.
It
Yeah,
could
hold on.
be.
Let me try something. Let me see. Let me turn the mic off and just go through the tablet. Mic's off. Do you still hear it?
Say something else.
So there was butterfly collars. There was bell bottoms.
Yeah, I still hear it. I wonder if it's my headphone, but it's only yours. I don't know. Whatever. Go on.
I don't hear it on the app, and I guess I'm just hoping that it doesn't come through because it's going to ruin the whole recording. If it does.
I don't hear it either, so it might just be.
So yeah,
amplified.
majority rules. We're gonna.
Yeah.
I'll have to get my fancy software that I don't have and filter out the noise. I got a little mini like soundboardy thing with my microphone, so I was happy about that. That's as much as I'm spending. All right, microphones for everybody if we're ever all in the same room.
Yeah, that's
Oh well, I guess Allie's unlikely, but me and you could end up in the same room again.
That's unlikely.
I mean, we did it last year a couple times, so.
I mean, Pennsylvania's not that far. I could make a trip.
Yeah, I mean, it might be actually fun to do it all together one time. Or, I mean, if you guys, we could do, I don't know, let's finish the book before I was thinking about the movie. If you want to actually, I'll do like a movie party in the same room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
I
might be.
feel like that would be the easiest way to make a watch party work.
I mean, right. Otherwise, it's really, you can call it a watch party, but it's just you watching it from there, me watching it from here.
Well, you
Yeah.
can also do it at my house. It's not exactly halfway at all, but
Right. It's real good for you.
I mean,
I-
2.5
that's a-
hours versus 45 minutes. Yeah.
I honestly, I don't care driving to your house as well.
Well, let's do this and then we'll get there.
Yeah.
It's a school night. Well, actually, I did my school at work today, like I said, so that worked. I'm multitasking again. So yeah, this might be.
Stop. Sorry. My cat is jumping on everything.
One of the best endings he has. Now that I'm thinking about it. I mean,
Yeah, like, did he pre-plan that one, or like what happened?
which is actually funny because in the movie is where they're talking about how they hate the endings of all his books.
Yeah, but I think that came because he had been, like, I've seen him say that story so many times in all the talks that he gives at libraries and schools and stuff like that. So I think either he told them about it or somebody had seen the same stuff that we had seen and they're like, we got to put that in there.
Right? Somebody read Under the Dome in the Stand. No spoilers. And I think, maybe he didn't know how to kill Pennywise at this point, so he went down to the monster perspective and said, well, the rules are the rules, so whatever form you take, you're subject to its limitations. I think that was an easy way for him to be able to actually kill it.
Yeah.
It was definitely like strange, but it was like not any scene that I have ever read anywhere else before.
The perspective?
The whole thing of them going into the lair and like the ritual of Chud and the him as an adult, I just remember him like sticking his hand in, I think at one point actually he was in his whole mouth or something, like when he finally kills it. Oh yeah, because he has to grab his heart.
Yeah,
It
he's
is
like
her
inside
heart.
the chest cavity of
Yeah.
it or something. So
Yeah,
I feel
right.
like with the new version of it, with that ending and the original version of it, somewhere in between those two is the actual ending of the book.
Yeah, which is fair. I mean, I feel like a lot of movies
Remind
are
me,
exactly like the
okay,
book.
how does the first one end?
The first one, they just rip its heart out.
Yeah, they shoot the
Squash
spider.
Yeah, I can't remember the damn ending of the first one.
But the remake, they actually like go a little more so into the ritual, which they
chase
don't
it.
include at all in the Tim Curry.
Yeah, they don't even talk about the Chud. Probably a little too weird. Probably nobody got it. I still don't know what the hell.
I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't quite understand either. I was reading a bunch of stuff online today, like, you know, gathering my thoughts, and somebody said something like, it's how something about like the way to beat monsters is like to be a child, like to be childish or something like that. I don't remember.
Well, right, that's a theme that goes through the book.
Right, obviously, but I mean, because it's like you have to tell jokes. I don't even remember anymore, or I don't know if they ever actually explain it.
Chud was you grab
Bite
the tongue and
Yeah.
was that what it was? Then you tell jokes like
Either
thought
tell
so.
jokes until the other one laughed, or tell riddles or something.
right. Where's Blaine?
But it's the same as like the freaking smoke shack, whatever, smoke teepee. Like he just made it up. So it's like, what is this?
What
Smoke hole, excuse me.
Oh. I was like, what TP? Yeah, they all would have been dead of fucking carbon monoxide and
Yeah.
some other stuff. Yeah, and it is really confusing. I had to keep looking at the time to see what year I was in. That's what I ended up.
Yeah, I kept getting confused. But I'm sure that's on purpose because they're very parallel.
I'm sure he probably figured it out at the same. Like, I don't think he knew how either one of them ended until they ended. You know,
Which is probably why it wasn't like the split between the two movies with kids and adults. He didn't realize how it was going to end until the end, so it's like, and we're not going to even touch this until then. Because nope.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. If he
the-
really go ahead, sorry.
it would have made more sense at least if they were adults when they did that.
Well, I'm also realizing there are things that aren't actually described in the book, like deaths that I've always thought were because of the movie, and that's what's been in my memory. And I'm like, oh, we don't see Henry or Victor or Belch, right? I don't think. We
No,
just hear them.
and that was really built up in my memory. Like, what happened to that? Like, I felt bad for Belch and Victor considering what happened to him, but you never actually saw what happened to him.
Right.
You just kind of heard about it.
Well, the losers didn't, but I mean, Henry did. He goes into that in his section when he breaks out of the asylum.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Because he
but
talks about Victor's head getting ripped off and how it sounds like a zipper.
Oh, right. He felt guilty because he ran away.
But he
Yeah.
talks about it like you're like the audience already knows what happened. You know what I mean? He doesn't.
Yeah,
It's not telling you what happened. It's commenting on something that everybody knows already happened. So it's
it's
kind
never
of
actually explained.
yeah, it's kind of vague. Like it's there, but it's not, like you're not living in the moment, seeing it happen. And in my memory, that shit that had been built up a lot more than that. Now, like, and speaking of which, Henry and them, the bad guys, have been built up so much, and then they just kind of, went away, chased them into the tunnels, I guess, and then that was that. You're dead.
Well, I actually was reading something about that too today, where it was like, why not like lure all of the like bad people, quote unquote, onto your side? Like, why kill them too when you could use them to get even more fear? And I feel like it just kind of speaks to like the type of monster that it is. Like, it doesn't care. It just likes to mess with people and feed on their fear in any capacity that it can. And there's always going to be more fear in Derry, so.
I guess if you're scared, that's when you taste the best. So he couldn't help himself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I guess it feels like it can always get more followers, so it doesn't necessarily need to keep the same ones.
Exactly. Yeah.
That has a huge influence in Derry.
There's no shortage of assholes there too.
I think it's fair to say there's more than an influence. Like he created Derry.
Well,
That's fair.
She. I keep saying he, but it's really a she.
It's both.
You're so used to it being a he because it presents himself as a he
Right.
most of the time.
I think
Which
he thought
is-
of that at the very last minute. Tabitha was probably like, "Why is it always a man?" He was like, "Well, I don't know. Let's make it." You know. And it's actually much more terrifying being a female because
Well, I was gonna say, I think honestly, it's because it's like, oh my god, could you imagine thousands of more of these running around?
Yeah.
and it's dark. What if you missed one? That's
I
what I was
know.
thinking the whole time. How do you know you got them all?
Yeah.
He had, well, yeah, it's not perfect. Yeah, like he had matches, right?
He had
Yeah,
matches,
right.
but we don't know if he had enough matches to see all of the eggs.
And did we say this last time? But why the hell didn't they bring flashlights? But they already did this once.
Yeah.
They knew what it was going to
Yeah.
be like.
Yeah, after reading it, I'm like, there's no excuse. What? Like seriously?
I'm ready for you guys to go away. I'm mad at you. Yeah, I you know, he's learning on the fly. I guess I guess we're critiquing it, over analyzing it.
Isn't that kind of what this is about, though?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm not over analyzing it. I don't mean that way. You know, we're thinking
It is-
about it a lot more than he did. I guess is what I mean.
Well, if he did write this in his typical fashion where he doesn't really plan it, it's kind of insane thinking about how it ends. It's like he wrote, I guess, both endings, quote unquote, at the same time. Like it's such a weird style.
I mean,
Well,
I
and I
get
think-
it, and I like. Well, the whole book's like that. It's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, but it's a lot easier, I feel like, to do that because the future or the present parts are really just them about to explain that they're going into a flashback.
Yeah,
nothing
nothing really
happening.
happens in the present.
Yeah.
They like have dinner and go for a walk and then go in the tunnels.
Yeah. Allie, were you gonna say something?
No.
Oh, okay.
Fine, be that way.
So, yeah, my dog was wanting to play, and I'm trying to keep her occupied without being too loud. So you might also be hearing her.
I don't hear anything.
If
Is
you
the
hear
dog-
heavy panting, it is not me, I promise.
I mean, you know, it could be both. Maybe is the dog's name Christine?
No.
Be cool if it was. That's the next movie coming out, I think.
Oh,
Before
I haven't
Salem's
even
Lot.
keeping
I
up.
think it's Christine. I feel lost. Like for like the last year, there was like one Stephen King show after another, and now it's been like I haven't watched anything since Lizzie's story on Apple. That was like 2 months ago. You know, like going through like Stephen King movie withdrawal.
Imagine how George R. Martin fans feel.
yeah.
Well, I think both of them were pissed off before HBO.
Stephen King fans?
No, both of George Martin's fans.
Oh, but oh.
And then when it got on HBO, that's it. He got fat and rich and was like, man, I'm not ever writing anything again. Screw that. Like that shit is hard.
Well, that's how
there's
you
a-
can...
Go.
I was gonna say that's how you can tell Stephen King doesn't have a choice. Like the fact that he's still writing so many books all the time is like this stuff just pours out of him.
Bill Denbrough says something about that.
Yeah.
Trying to get the idea onto the page before you lose it and something about the terrifying thought or yeah. But there's I was watching a thing. Sometimes I fall down Stephen King YouTube holes, and there's a thing with him and George Martin, and he said they're like basically George Martin was reading like fan letters and asking Stephen King questions, and he like put the booklet down. And he's like, I have a question. I'm like, how the hell do you write so much?
Especially
yeah.
coming from him.
Right. If you could just write half what he did, the world would have a lot happier fans. So yeah, I don't know if we need to go turn by turn in the tunnel. So the tunnels are gross. just say that. I mean, between sticking your hand inside the chest cavity for the gooey heart and the squishy eggs that are...
Well, that's what I meant. Like, the whole end is just so gross. So many descriptive, gushy, gross things. I can't think of a better word. Gruesome.
Yeah. Didn't, and they crawled through like a fucking...
And don't forget the bodies. The dead bodies.
I did forget the dead body. Where were they?
They were in the tunnel.
You mean all the skeletons and stuff? I know there was dead bodies too.
No, like Patrick Hockstetter was there.
Yeah. Did I tell you he's driving the car in the movie?
You did tell me that, which is such a weird detail to change.
Yeah, like what good?
If you haven't read the book, you're not even gonna know who that is anyway.
Right. So, but who's Vic's driving the car in the book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the Vic.
Is Patrick in the new movie? I don't remember.
Well, yeah, he's driving the car.
Well, no, I mean like his fridge and everything. That's not in the movie, is it?
I don't think so.
I wish it was his fridge. Patrick and his fridge.
So it's like, why even make him the driver? Who cares? That's so weird. Maybe
so they can say they put him in the movie. Maybe the Hockstetter camp was upset that he wasn't in the movie, so they made him drive the car. Big Hockstetter was getting upset. Yeah, you see that all the time, especially in Stephen King movies, because I know every detail of those books. Like, why did they change that? What purpose did that serve? Why did somebody sit and go, well, we got the wrong dead guy driving the car. Let's make it this dead guy that nobody would know that didn't read the book instead of this. How did that enhance the story or make it better? Like, I don't understand.
Like, it seems like whoever made that decision did read the book. So then it's like, why? Is that just your own personal touch?
Yeah, or they can go, you see how Patrick's driving the car? I did that.
Yeah, right? Like, that was my idea.
Right. That was all.
Nobody even knows who he is.
I'm all Patrick over here. But yeah, I don't know. I've never been able to figure that out. So it's dark and gooey and yeah, it just makes me...
I even said...
Oh, so I'm looking at the part where they just found there's a dead body on my right. I think it might be...
Yeah, that was such a creepy scene.
Patrick.
Yeah. Just picturing being them in that dark sewer with like in your peripheral, you just know he's there grinning at you.
Right, and of course, even though he's dead, he's grinning. There's no doubt about it. And you know what it makes me think of? Oh shit, you didn't go. You have to go next year to I can't tell you. What?
Well, I said A Christmas Carol.
No, well, you have to go to that too. That was really cool. Fucking Field of Screams. There's a part in there that is kind of like this. And that's all I have to say about that because I just remembered you didn't go.
Okay.
So after we go next year, Allie, you can come too. You're invited too. I'll have a big party. You know what Field of Screams is? It's like 5 haunted houses all in one spot, or 4 haunted houses in a hayride. I think it's in Lidditz.
It's like Cox Farms. What do they do? Fright? No, I don't remember. Fright
Fest. There's all kinds of places. I think there is a Fright Fest one.
Is it the Field of Screams in Maryland?
It's probably the same people. It almost has to be, right?
I would imagine. I tried to go to that the other year, and there was so much wind and rain that the trees started falling down. So we never.
Wow, that sounds perfect.
An hour and a half in line and had to leave before we could go in.
Well, not that far, but geez, trees are falling down. It's raining. It sounds like you're in a horror movie while you went there. That's perfect backdrop. Yeah, we waited like an hour for the hayride, and it was like we were the first people there, I think, or in the first group, not like the front of the line. And it just, I think, well, we decided to go early because it was a Saturday and we knew it was, come 9 o'clock, it was going to be wall-to-wall people.
Yeah.
So, but from like 5 to 7, you're pretty good. You can get around pretty easy without running into people. That's Amber. Did I show you the selfie picture where we took a selfie and the one guy just showed up in the back of the picture? We didn't even know he was there until afterwards.
I don't think so. You might have sent it to us. I don't remember though.
But, yeah, they have people. Okay, I'm getting.
I know what you're talking about though. Like they do that at amusement parks where they have people who walk around.
Yeah, he's in a like Saw. It looks like a Saw guy. He's got the hair and the cheekbones. And stuff. So we took it. It was like me and Liz. We took, and Lauren and Michelle. Yeah, it was just 4 of us. So we had somebody. We took a selfie, and we looked at the picture, and there was the guy in the Saw mask. Came up right between Lauren and Liz and like stuck his head in between them, but right behind them, so they didn't know he was there. So he's in our
yeah.
It was pretty cool. And they got people.
It's called a photobomb.
Yeah, I know. Right. Okay. I guess I kind of over-explained that. I thought a photobomb was when you did it by accident. I guess it was.
No.
The one haunted house, that the very end of it, they have people with chainsaws, and like when you come out, they attack you with the chainsaws, and oh god, you got chainsaws. But you don't get. They're not real chainsaws. But
I was like, what do you mean you got chainsaw?
it sounds like a chainsaw. It moves like a chainsaw, but it doesn't cut anything. I just
Oh, okay.
But I watched a lot of people do this. The chicks scream, and they get scared. The guy runs at them with a chainsaw, so they run. Well, don't do that, because if you run, they chase you.
Right.
So there's like 3
everybody
knows
knows that.
Running around like the whole Field of Screams parking lot, and there's a guy with a chainsaw chasing them through the thing. I'm like, wait,
so they
real?
chase you after the house is over?
Yes, they chase you out of the house. They like run out and like still chase you. I've seen one guy go like 100 yards because she kept screaming and running, so he kept chasing her.
Well, they do that at the amusement parks, but like it's a huge park, so like that makes more sense. But you expect it to be over when you come out of a haunted house. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I was trying to get it on video, but then it got too crowded. I was like, it was way cooler than I thought it was going to be. None of this is scary, but it was pretty. I had a good time. We're gonna go next year, and maybe we should talk about Stephen King.
Yeah.
Way off track. I think they just picked one of the tunnels is where I'm at.
Well, we were talking about they saw Patrick. Technically,
right.
the next part after that is back to Pennywise.
Pennywise hated fear. This is where he talks about, I think, it experienced fear for the first time ever, and the fact that maybe it couldn't win.
He explains the oh wait, does he? Yeah, he explains Mike's bird.
Oh, remind me.
Oh yeah.
I should have read this again. I read this so long ago.
That he was in wait, where does it start? He was 6 months old when his mother left him sleeping in his cradle in the side yard while she went around back to hang sheets and diapers on the line. His screams brought her on the run. A large crow had lighted on the edge of the carriage and was pecking at baby Mikey with it like an evil creature in a nursery tale. It's such a weird way to describe it too, where he says he had been screaming in pain and terror, unable to drive away the crow, which had sensed weak prey. It's like, yeah, he's a baby.
Right? I mean, yeah, it's not like he remembers that.
But I guess he does.
He's got a better memory than I do, my God.
You'd be surprised. I think that's what we're learning, is there's a lot of things you pick up when you're a baby. I think Stephen King was ahead of his time for that one.
You could say he's ahead of his time. A lot of things. Yeah, it's female. I probably should have refreshed myself. I just figured I'd go into it and just hit the ground running. But okay, so we go back to it, and it just kind of, I don't know. This one's not as cool as the first one. It's like talking about Audra in the house. She's like, oh my God.
It does one. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was say one thing I highlighted. I think you mentioned this. So he talks about fears. Like why it feeds on children. I guess that's why it's called it too. It's not really male or female. That kind of makes sense.
I thought that was a cop out. I hate the fact that there's no it's called it. I just wish it was called anything.
But anyway, it says, but their fears were mostly too complex. Talking about adults, the fears of children were simpler and usually more powerful. The fears of children could often be summoned up in a single face. And if fate were needed, why? What child did not love a clown? Although I also highlighted that because I was like, at this day and age, probably none.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. The Clown Association is very upset with Stephen.
Yeah, he kind of ruined that.
Many adults could be used without knowing they had been used, and it had even fed on a few of the older ones over the years. Well, that's interesting.
Well, that's like Henry.
Yeah, I mean that's like all of them, really. It just, I mean, anyway. I
don't think I would say it fed on the losers over the years. Maybe Mike, but I doubt that even.
Well, adults had their own terrors, and their glands could be tapped open so that all the chemicals of fear flooded the body and salted the meat. So.
Yeah, because it talks about him feeding in the interludes. He feeds on the adults.
Yeah, I mean that's what's wrong with most of the adults, right? He's feeding on them, or he's draining them like a vampire, a psychic vampire, like the Red Hat Society. Wait, do you know what that is?
From Dr. Sleep?
Yeah, it's Dr. Sleep.
Yeah.
They're just kind of I don't know. To me, it always goes back to, are they shitty people because of Pennywise, or Pennywise successful because they're shitty people?
I would say both, except for I fully believe that it created this town. So it's kind of like, I mean, I didn't give birth to the humans that live there, so I guess I do believe it comes from it then. I'm sure that the people are, I don't know, because yeah,
I've always said that
so many bad people. How could it be that way?
Yeah, my argument was always he enhances what's already there, but I mean, he's always been there. There's never a time in Derry where there was no Pennywise, so
when they moved there, it was already evil.
Yeah, when I can't think of his name.
I think I have it written down.
No, I was trying to think of the guy from Quaho.
Oh.
So the Golden Clam. What was his name?
Oh, yeah. Miles. No, something Griffin, right?
Miles was the guy that got in an argument with the clam. It was. I can't remember. It was a statue. The Golden Clam. Okay, I think we lost Allie again.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, like I said, we lost her. Like, we're not talking about it.
It's been 40 minutes. We barely mentioned them.
Hold real quick. The earliest event, I think, maybe there's one earlier, but 1741, where everyone in Derry disappears. It was 340 at the time, and there's no trace, supposedly. So it's like, that could have been, like, they could have been all good people, and then, however, I'm like, wait, there's something missing, man, because I'm like, how did the town repopulate that?
Maybe he ate them all and brought some more people in.
Yeah, that's.
But he doesn't
make
really
a better
eat the adults. He feeds on the adults. He doesn't really, he doesn't kill them or eat them. I mean, it kind of kills them sometimes.
He also always has his event, whatever you would call that, to end his cycle.
Yeah,
that
big
definitely
the
kills
grand
people.
finale.
Yeah.
That's what the losers robbed him of. And what does that mean? So does that mean he went to bed hungry because he didn't get his dessert?
Probably.
You mean when they were kids?
Yeah, like when they drove him back into the.
Well, there was a big flood that day too, but nothing really bad happened at that time, did it? I don't think so.
Nah, Well, the flood
Just the
preceded. The
flood.
flood was first. That was when Georgie died. And it's called After the Flood, the first chapter.
Oh, you're right.
It started and kind of ended with a flood because in what was present day for the adults, it's going back and forth, also saying there was like major winds and a big storm event the last time they fought it as well.
Yeah, I do remember there was a storm because like the whole town seemed to have disappeared, or was like really quiet, and it was raining when they went in.
Yeah. So I think people died during that too, but that's not the same as it feeding.
Yeah, there was no big bang.
That's a good point. There wasn't like a finale that time.
There was no ironworks or
Fire at the Black Spot.
fire. I couldn't think of what it was called.
Easter. Oh no, that was the ironworks thing. Yeah.
The Kitchener Ironworks, Fire at the Black
Yeah.
Spot. What was the other one?
Well, let me
Bradley Gang.
Oh yeah.
I had it written down. Anyway,
The Lumberjack Massacre.
Oh yeah.
Claude.
Yeah, Claude.
I still don't quite understand that whole.
I
He
do
was
enjoy the lore of it though. Like I want to put a full picture together, even though we don't really have a full picture, but as much as we can get. I think it's pretty interesting, this like history of this town.
Right, we're gonna call Aaron Mankey and tell him to do an episode. I love the history part and the fact that it's made up, and that's part of the reason I love Anne Rice, because she creates a like 10,000 year history of vampires at one point. I put the book down like, well, that's how that happened. Like,
yeah, right. I remember that in history.
Vampires aren't real.
Yeah. Well, especially when like Anne Rice and Stephen King are similar too, in the sense of like they're so good at descriptive, detailed writing. So it's like I'm picturing it like a movie in my head when I'm reading the scene. So it just works out so perfectly.
Yes, Anne Rice, I definitely did that. I read The Wolf Gift last year, which is her fancy way of saying werewolves. And like you could, the guy's like becoming a werewolf for the first time and like flying over the countryside and running so fast he's up in the air and like enjoying the sights, and you can see everything he sees. Because of the way she writes it, like I felt like I was flying through the air with it.
It works especially well in horror because you also feel that fear and that paranoia and that anxiety and the chills,
that tension.
Oh yeah.
The bonding of 7 extraordinarily imaginative minds. It had been brought into a zone of great danger. Yeah. They had gone deep, and the exhausted, terrified children had elected not to follow it when it was at its most vulnerable. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if I want to go page for page. Is there? I mean,
we don't really have to.
I guess we have to. There's a weird scene where she fucks everyone, and after that, they go kill it. That's all I have to say about that.
Allie and I think we're talking about this where it's like, why couldn't you have just made it the blood ritual? Like that would have worked perfectly fine in place of the sex scene.
What's the blood ritual?
Where the blood pact, where they cut their hands at the end.
Oh, at the end. Or at
you could have done that inside. I mean, like I know it was dark, but whatever. You can have sex, you'll figure it out.
Right? They didn't even, half of them hadn't even been in puberty yet. Like they didn't know.
I think
they weren't able to finish, I think is what he said.
I think that's kind of like Stephen King's reasoning for it, is that like they don't know the baggage that, the things that come with the act, and it's just to them more a way of being an adult. And so in that moment, I guess they needed to be adults, and that was what they thought of. I'm like, okay, but
they couldn't find their way out. That was after they killed it, or thought they killed it. They couldn't find their way out because their bond was loosening, I guess, because they killed it. And so that was her way, or her grand idea of strengthening their bond. And
Which I understand that she's young enough to not know that that's not how that works. Like, it's not solely on you, but it's not her, like, okay, the like way that she kind of, it's like she gets this like self-improvement from it, like it's something she's been missing her whole life. And I'm like, okay, Stephen King, like, you don't, like, just don't.
Well, and I feel like that it's almost him saying that he feels that that's the only way that a woman can feel power, and that's just insulting.
That is kind of how it comes off, like.
Which is weird, because his wife would never put up with that. I know.
Yeah.
But
give us more credit than that, dude. Come on now.
Yeah, I just think the only thing I can say is he was, like 35 and full of cocaine, so...
That's exactly what I was about to say. Don't forget about that.
Some things, are more important when you're full of drugs, I guess. I don't know. Maybe he was watching porn while he was writing out. I don't know that I've ever... Has anybody ever asked him, like, what the hell were you thinking, dude?
Yeah, they have. I was looking it up earlier. I was preparing. And
you did a lot of homework for this episode.
In 2013, I don't know what, I think it was a Vulture article. He said, and I quote, I wasn't really thinking of the sexual aspect of it. The book dealt with childhood and adulthood, 1958 and grown-ups. The grown-ups don't remember their childhood. None of us remember what we did as children. We think we do, but we don't remember it as it really happened. Intuitively, the losers knew they had to be together again. The sexual act connected childhood and adulthood. It's another version of the glass tunnel that connects the children's library and the adult library. Times have changed since I wrote that scene, and there's now more sensitivity to those issues. End quote.
So it's nothing like the glass tunnel.
Yeah, like I can see what he's trying to say, but I think the fact that he said there's more sensitivity to those issues really doesn't help his point at all. It's like,
well, he's probably gotten drilled about it a lot.
But he did say something that I agree with, where he said, so I think in 2014 or 2017, when the remake was coming out, and like that's when they were really talking about it again, he said, this was like a few years later, quote, I'd just like to add that it's fascinating to me that there's been so much comment about this single sex scene and so little about the multiple child murders. That must mean something, but I'm not sure what, end quote.
Well, I remember, what were we talking about, where somebody called Pennywise a serial child murderer, and that made me uncomfortable. I was like, no, that's not what actually, I guess that is what he
absolutely, yeah.
I'm like, no, it doesn't, like, I don't like when they call him that. It doesn't make me feel good. I guess you're not supposed to feel good, but, I kind of like Pennywise, and I can't like him if that's what, he's known as.
Yeah, well, he primarily killed children, but he did kill adults, too, so I think of him as just like a monster serial killer.
Well, I mean, he's a serial child murderer, but he's so much more than that, I guess, is the way, he's eating their aura and stuff like that, so it's a little more
to the point of, like, Amber, what you said in the not the most recent interview with him, but the last quote that you said with Stephen King about that specific scene, I guess in the thinking of, like, if you force something sexually upon a child and then they survive, it's more damaging than just killing them.
That's why at least bothers people more, you mean?
Yeah.
Well,
like, you're forcing them to perform this adult act that they don't understand, whereas if they're dying as a kid, at least they still have their innocence.
So
Who was forcing him?
yeah, I don't understand that part.
No, in this effect, Stephen King was forcing them to do that with each other. He was writing it.
Okay.
And I think that's why people keep bringing it up, as opposed to, because the book is about murders, and that's just a weird tie-in.
I agree. I feel like it's a strange scene, but it's really only a few pages that like really doesn't. It's not even on the radar of the entire theme of the book.
It's just so out of place that it sticks out more.
I mean,
and people love to talk about it because it sounds controversial.
That too.
I can almost see that he wasn't thinking of it in a sexual way. I can almost see that, but you rewrite every book, so you went back and wrote it again and thought it was fine the way it was.
Yeah, I do think it was.
You would think on a rewrite, you'd be like, "Whoa, I might need to like roll that back a little bit."
But to his credit, he's written other sexually violent scenes even that I'm super uncomfortable with. But it's like, reading's not always supposed to make. It's not, especially horror, is not supposed to make you comfortable. So
he tries to do it exactly the way he thinks it would have happened. And that's why you get people using racial slurs and stuff like that all the time, because that's the way they would have been. So I get that, but what scene are you talking about?
Trash can man and the kid.
Does that really bother you?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you love that scene?
Well, I mean, no. Matter of fact, it's kind of one of them. That was one of the few scenes where I like made a face and I'm like, oh, all right, come on, just get it going. Because the whole tone was so almost like it was okay.
Well, that's part of being a predator.
Well, I know, but you had to like really, like the way he was talking about it, you're like, wait a minute, no, this isn't cool at all. And he's just like, da 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 da, like, oh, we're doing this again, okay.
Yeah.
But that's a different book. Fuck, we might need to read The Stand next. We keep talking about it.
I know.
There's some violent rape scenes, and that guy didn't even make the movies or the rewrite or the edited version.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'm not. I like the kid. I like the way the kid ends up later.
You already said it.
Well, to be fair, I don't know if he dies. We never saw that. We just know it.
No, we know he dies.
Do we know it wasn't a good option?
I mean, unless oh my God, what's his name in that one?
The kid?
No. Oh my God, it's on the tip of my tongue. The bad guy. Flag. Randall Flag. Yeah. Unless he picked him up, but we know he didn't, so. Anyway.
Yeah, okay. Anyway. I'm reading, so the bird comes back.
Yeah. Isn't that when they're adults, or is that when they're kids?
I don't know.
Because they see the big eye. Richie always calls it out. It's like, why don't you stop being the first one to see these things?
Richie's a real, Richie's a lot like, for a guy that does voices and like lives in imagination and fantasy and make-believe, he's really denying any of it all the time, which I found almost out of character for what that character would be like in my mind. Like Stan, I get he's very practical and what did they say? It messed with his sense of order.
Yeah.
But Richie's so much more, I don't know what the word is, accepting, willing. At least I thought, but like every time something happens, he's the one that's like, no, let's turn around. This didn't happen. I refuse to admit. Like he closes his eyes, I think, the whole time the statue walks up on him, trying to make it go away.
That's what I would do.
There is no way in hell I would want to, but there's no way I could. Because every time I heard something move, I would need to know what's going on.
Yeah, that scene was such a great one too. Like just like that. He's so good at writing that slow.
Did he step on the baby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was just gonna say, it kind of reminds me, like, he's a comedian, and like, you know, like it's kind of a, you know, or there's a known thing that it's like a lot of comedians are really depressed, and can be using that to mask some inner I guess turmoil. So it reminds me of that, where it's like he comes off as this like joking, happy guy, but the minute, like, you know, the lights come up and he sees something real, like he's not equipped to deal with that.
You know, I don't think he wrote it that way intentionally, but knowing what we know now about all these comedians that kill themselves, he's exactly what I imagine they would have been like. Mm-hmm. He's so tortured inside, and, you know, but always has to be in character on the outside. He talks about that, where he calls the one chick and she squeals like, "Oh my God, do the voice."
Yep. I mean, even when granted, this is Stephen King writing it, but when he's thinking, it's like, it feels like it's a voice.
Yeah, that's a Stephen Kingism. Everybody has a lot of voices in their head. Stephen King book.
But Richie plays a pretty crucial part. So I'm like, I love him.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole it's interesting the way he did that, where they, like, Pennywise throws them into the black universe of nothing, and they have to try to find their way. But is that the Deadlights? I don't think that was the Deadlights. It was something else.
Sounds like Toad Edge.
Isn't there things in Toad Edge? This was like where they didn't see. It was just black.
Oh,
right?
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It wasn't.
Well, I don't know. A lot of it was confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was trying to throw them out into the Deadlights.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. Well, he did throw them somewhere, because it was just.
But like Audra was in the Deadlights, and I got the impression she was somewhere else than where they were.
Yeah, because I remember
the turtle or the. Sorry, who?
Audra, Bill's wife.
I don't know about that, but I do remember that. I don't remember if it was as a kids or adult, but I remember him seeing the edge and like knowing, like, I can't go there. That's the Deadlights.
Yeah. Well,
Wow, you mean when they confronted him and they got flung into space or whatever? There was I don't remember that. So there was almost a hard edge that he knew he had to get back from.
There was because when they were adults and Richie was out there, he said it looked like planks of wood or something.
Yeah, I don't remember now.
It's been like a month now. Well, it's like I won't dwell on it. It was my own damn fault for not rereading it again. The mark on the door, that almost has a Dark Tower feel to it. I think we mentioned that.
Yeah.
I like how they all see. It goes through every one of them. They all saw it as something different. Kind of funny. So why do I see it as that? What does that mean to me? You know, Bill saw a paper boat. I get that. It almost looks like a rubber ducky up top. Richie saw two eyes behind the spectacles. Maybe.
I'm just looking at it. Sorry.
There's like everything's a glamour with this guy. Like, will the real Pennywise please stand up?
Well, he did explain that in his section where he says that it's all glamours and mirrors.
Yeah. Remind me, did we ever actually, is the spider's not even its real form, right? That's just.
The spider's its physical form.
Yeah.
Like in Derry. But that
Is
was
it-
just a connection to let it feed, I think.
I think that was like as close as anything on Earth could, as to
Yeah.
what it really is.
It keeps being described as this like unimaginable creature, and it's like, okay, we get it. It's a monster.
That's a cop out.
I found it.
It's nothing
I
but a
found it
damn
in the
troll
section.
under a bridge, and we all know what they look like.
Where is it?
I have no idea what to give you page number wise, but it says, back one page too far. And beyond him, coming up fast, Richie could see / sense something that finally dried up his laughter. It was a barrier,
Yeah.
something of a strange non-geometrical shape that his mind could not grasp. Instead, his mind translated it as best it could, as it had translated the shape of it into a spider, allowing Richie to think of it as a colossal gray wall made of fossilized wooden stakes. So there was some sort of like
okay, yeah. Now I'm picturing.
physical barrier in between where they were originally thrown and slid past the turtle to where
Mhm.
its actual shape was.
That damn turtle is useless sometimes, I tell you.
I forgot the turtle died.
Yeah, I was like, he's dead the second time, but Gan is still there.
Gan is Earth, right?
Or or the white, whatever.
No, Gaia is Earth. What Gan is. That has overtones of Dark Tower, of course.
Oh, they call it the other. Excuse me. The final other.
Like, okay, Allie, I might lose you for a second, but is the turtle is not dead in the Dark Tower, right?
No. Yeah, that confused me.
It's the bear and then something else that died. Oops, I mean, I think it's
The turtle is with the bear, isn't it? Whatever. Actually,
is that the other end of the bear?
No.
I think the turtle like sort of dies, but I don't think he really dies. Kind of like the way Pennywise.
Well, he's being. The whole point is he's being weakened, or is it just his beam? That's a good point. I guess we never actually met the turtle. We just knew about the beam.
Yeah, and we only really we don't. Do we get the turtle's perspective?
Well, it didn't matter in the Dark Tower because the Guardians like were almost all dead anyway. It was like just okay, sorry, spoilers.
All right, come back to it.
It's like just save the beams.
What the hell did I just say?
Whole lot of stuff I didn't understand.
All right, Jenny, read that back.
I guess the turtle doesn't have to be alive or dead in the Dark Tower because again, it's just about the beam. It's not about the actual Guardian.
Well, I don't think he's dead in it. I guess is my point. I'm trying to.
I think he definitely died. Like not the first time, but like
I mean, that's just
doesn't
like.
he
make
sees
some-
his body, doesn't he?
Well, if he sees his body, he's clearly not dead.
I mean, when he's fighting it, he's like passes the carcass. I thought.
Yeah, but that thing goes to sleep for a million years at a time. You know, maybe it was just a deep sleep.
Bill and Richie both passed the turtle
Yeah,
because
it
that's
could
how
be
Bill
some-
knew it was dead.
And was the turtle the only thing keeping Pennywise from like just eating the whole fucking earth and moving on somewhere else?
No, because they mentioned like some other, because the turtle was like, I don't really get involved in these things. Here's some words of wisdom.
Which, yeah, the turtle is actually like pretty useless. So it's like, why do you keep referencing it? Was he just thinking about the Dark Tower?
He wrote this in Wastelands right about the same time.
So yeah.
I mean, I don't know. You see, saying with it, the turtle seems kind of useless, and he kind of pisses me off because it doesn't really do anything. Why is he there?
Right.
If he doesn't get involved in the affairs of men, then why is he even there?
Well, the turtle really is like it should be this other, the white, you know what I mean? Because that's the force that is bringing them together and helping them defeat Pennywise. It's
But
just
is the turtle the reason they're like? Is it the turtle that's helping them, or is it just the other? And the turtle is just like floating through space half dead. Like,
He makes it seem throughout the entire book like it's the turtle because he keeps mentioning turtles.
yeah,
But
I'm a big fan of the turtle, but reading this again, I'm not so sure I should be. I'm
Yeah.
totally kidding.
yeah.
Except
I feel like
mention
the
turtle wax 14 times.
Exactly. Turtle-shaped glasses.
maybe
Yeah.
he was obsessed with turtles at this point in his life.
Right?
Well, I
Maybe it's
really
kind of like
do
a
think
collection of glass turtles.
he was thinking about Dark Tower, and like he was like, oh, the turtle is very important. Like, we know about this, guys.
Yeah, right. Those who know.
But it's like, okay, but you shouldn't have put him in the story. Like you said, I feel worse about him now.
Right? I'm returning my turtle shirt. Yeah, I mean, maybe like I always kind of thought Pennywise was the bad, the turtle's the good, but then who's this other? Like,
It's more,
so
yeah.
the other's not the turtle. Does he call it the white at any point? I hope not.
I don't think so.
No.
That's what I keep calling it, because I know that's what it is.
Well, yeah, because that's what it was in the stand. So they say.
Oh, and the Dark Tower.
Do they say the white in the dark tower? You keep going to the tower, Missy.
Well, I mean,
Well, they are very similar, or they ended up being very similar. I wish it wasn't 100 books because we could. I have so many I want to read at the same time. Like I want to do this next, I want to do that next, I want to do that next. Can we just read like 5 books at once?
I feel like that would get confusing.
Right. I like the Norbert Keane showing up in his 90s in 1985. I didn't remember that. I don't think I hate him anymore. I think he's redeemed himself, and it was Jake that was the asshole.
What does he do in this story? I don't remember.
No, just with Eddie and all that.
You mean-
The old folks stood watch. Oh, he's talking about the flood destroying the town, and it says the old folks stood a watch. One of them was Norbert Keane, now in his 90s. He hobbled to the window and looked out at a darkening sky.
Yeah, that scene was very vivid.
He thought randomly of the day the Bradley gang. Oh, that was another one. Bradley gang.
She said that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody was there. Everybody was there. So Norbert Keane was there for the Bradley gang. I kind of like that. That kind of fits. I can see him like just shooting people. 96 years old come June 24th, and he still walks 3 miles every day. Yeah, you wish. We all know how he feels about walking. Yeah, he goes through a list of like all these old people. I'm not really sure what the point here is. Or like they're the only ones who, I don't know who what. I don't even who noticed the town falling apart, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like, I think I even wrote that down. Some of those final death scenes, like of when the town is being destroyed, it's just so random. But it makes me think of like the scenes like from The Stand and stuff like that. Like that's very Stephen King.
The second cut is the deepest. Yeah, some of my most cringy parts are in that second cut in The Stand. Like
well, because it's so like, yeah, it's information that does nothing to the story. It's just to make you feel bad.
Well, it does a lot to the story, but it's the little details you don't necessarily want to think about.
Right.
But he's not going to let you get away with that. calls Georgie George, so that's weird. Can you imagine holding a match up in a dark ass sewer tunnel and seeing your dead brother coming towards you?
No.
Do you put the match out? Which one's worse?
Probably not. Not in that scenario.
Yeah, I think I'd have to. Well, I mean, the match it's going to burn your fingers there in a couple seconds anyway. He had sent George out to die and spent his whole adult life writing about the horror of that betrayal. Interesting perspective. Okay. Moving on. I thought I was turning pages faster. Did you notice when the town's falling apart at 5:30 in the morning on WZON, meteorologist Jim Witt described what he called blah, blah, blah?
I don't know where you are.
Right. Do you know what WZON is?
Is it his radio station?
It would be one.
Yeah, I did not know that.
So he put his radio station in the book. I feel like this was probably not long after he bought it. He was trying to promote it.
Wait, Stephen King actually owns a radio station?
Yeah, 3.
Oh,
So
wow.
there was basically a classic rock radio station. I think the story is it was basically just going out of business. He was like, "Fuck that! We need a radio station in Bangor." So he bought it, and it's the classic rock, and there's a talk radio, and then there's like I think they call it alternative. There's WKIT, which is the classic rock, which is King and it. So WKIT. WZON is the zone, and I don't remember. I don't think that means anything. I don't remember what the other one was called. W something. So yeah, there was 3 of them. It's like they call it. I think it was alternative adult contemporary, some nonsense that. It's like sleepy time adult music. So yeah, we have. Maybe we can show you pictures. We have pictures. We have any pictures.
I do.
But yeah, so I think it was somewhere it had to be after this book came out that he bought it because the radio station is called WKIT.
Oh,
So
yeah,
maybe this is actually before he bought it. Maybe he's just trying to give him a shout. Maybe Jim Witt was a friend of his. Also, did you ever actually put real people, like real people's names? I don't think you ever have.
How would we know?
I don't know. Because it would be a contest. I guess we wouldn't. That's a good point. Really. But, hey, you can use my name. You know, I can be like Adrian.
He had. Yeah.
Well, he's used half of it. I can be Adrian's kid. No, that wouldn't work. His uncle. Something. And I always thought Don Haggerty was like I don't know. It's like an old person's name. It didn't feel like it fit that well. I'm just picturing like one of the old geezers sitting on the porch in Tommy Knockers talking about the old days and their tweed hats. When I hear that name, you guys haven't read Tommy Knockers either, right? But you know what I'm talking about. Like every one of his little small town people sitting on the porch in the rocking chair at the general store.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like one of them would be named Don Haggerty.
Yeah. I feel like there was a Tommy Knockers tie-in in here somewhere. I just don't know where. But I know Rebecca Paulson is definitely a tie-in.
I don't know
who was she in this?
She, a woman in Haven Village named Rebecca Paulson found a $50 bill fluttering from her back door welcome mat, 220s in her birdhouse, and 100 plastered against an oak tree in her backyard.
Okay.
So she was one of the people that found money after the bank's roof blew off.
Oh.
It was all downhill from there.
He wrote a short story about her.
Oh, he did? Wait.
Yeah.
What was it called?
It's called The Revelations of Becca Paulson. It was in I Shudder at Your Touch, which was a short story compilation that was written in
Okay,
the
that
80s?
doesn't exist. There's no short story called I Shudder at Your Touch.
No. The book is called I Shudder at Your Touch. The short story is The Revelations of Becca Paulson.
I have never heard of such a book.
I've read it. I promise you it exists. It wasn't just his book. He just wrote a short story in it.
Oh.
It was a compilation of a bunch of different writers.
Then it probably came from one of his other short story books. I don't remember anything about it, so it's possible I've never read it. But Becca Paulson's definitely in Tommyknockers. And Finding the Money was probably the best day of her life because it didn't work out for her very well. Do you guys know anything about that story?
Tommyknockers?
Yeah.
I've read it, I just don't remember. I mean, I remember some things. I remember, some things.
She was in the town, so I mean that's all I'll say about it. She was one of the townspeople, and if you know what that means, you're good. If you don't, read it. I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up. I can't remember if I've read that or not. It sounds familiar, but I don't know if that's because of Tommyknockers or the short story. I think. Anyway, back to it. And I mean, so Richie and Bill get thrown out there. Eddie is the only one that actually dies, and he ripped his arm off. You know, why didn't it just do that to everyone right away and like call it a day?
It's cocky.
What?
I said because it's cocky? Because it likes
maybe because it never knew fear before. Maybe.
Yeah, it didn't have any reason to think that they would ever beat him.
Yeah. I don't
a nightmare spider from beyond time and space. A spider from beyond the fevered imaginings of whatever inmates may live in the deepest depths of hell. It's like, okay, we get it.
Right? Kodash. Yeah, like no. I want you to imagine it because that's why I bought your book. You don't get to cop out and tell me beyond the deepest imagination. Like I said, what did he say at one point? It wasn't dark. It was the complete absence of light. Wow. That's interesting. Because even in most dark, there was a thing on History Channel that In the Dark it's called, and there's like 10 different zones of dark, and like zone 1 is absolute dark, and there's only like 2 places on the planet like 10 feet wide that have absolute dark that qualify for that category. I thought that was bad. So when he says stuff like the complete absence of light, that's like, I wonder what it would be like to live in a place that has a complete absence of light. Well, I guess that'd be like being blind.
Yeah.
Which, for the record, would be awful. I love music, but I think I'd have to go deaf if I had to pick one. I need to see where I'm going.
Okay. Anyway, back to the story.
Yeah, they're fighting the spider. I'm just kind of skimming through it. This is my first part with the green highlighter. I never used a green one. I don't think I like it. It looks kind of pukey and snotty.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of good. I don't have a whole lot else to say about them fighting the spider. Bill comes back. As both, really. Bill comes back. Richie comes back. I guess I'm talking about adults. As kids,
Oh yeah, I just I thought they. Yeah, I was rereading this real quick, like skimming it, and I thought they were kids, but that's when they're adults. Yeah.
I'm glad he thrust his fist against the post and still insists he sees the ghost. It became important. I'm glad I got that out in one try. Because that's one of the things that like the what else did I say was important? Like that's one of them phrases that just has lived with me since I read it, 40 years ago.
Oh yeah.
5 years ago, that was always thrust his fist against the post. Because even that stupid little not tongue twister, palindrome. God damn it, what's the word for it? Phrase is so visual in those like quick, short amount of words.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is also satisfying to say, especially if you can say it.
Right?
Yeah.
That was the thing about the audiobook. That was like almost annoying to listen to. he when you're reading it and he's stuttering, you're just like, okay, you kind of skip to the word and you skip over the 5 C's before it. You don't like pronounce them in your head. But yeah, when you're listening to it, it's like, it made me want to like finish the sentence. Then we get Chud. Yeah, I'm just kind of skimming through. There's something at the end I remembered I wanted to talk about, so I just kind of to get past.
Okay, yeah, we can.
The turtle died a few years ago. The old idiot puked inside his shell and choked to death on a galaxy or two. Very sad, don't you think?
That also sounds like a
lie. That
can't
be the way the turtle goes out. Come on.
Yeah.
Like he sounds like a drunk. Like he went on a bender and choked on his own puke. Even bodies are in the web. That's significantly creepy when you look up and you see a half-eaten body hanging in the.
Yeah.
But also, if it was pregnant in 1958, did it have more kids, or did it just lay those eggs 27 years later?
Right? I could have just, I could have do like 1,000 a day for that matter. Because
I guess it went to sleep, so maybe it's a 27-year gestation period.
Maybe it's pregnant.
That would suck.
Right? Talk about morning sickness, my God. You'd have like decade sickness. I even wrote that, right? I highlighted the part where the turtle died. Or where he says, the turtle's dead. Oh God, the turtle's really dead. I wrote right next to that, did the bean break?
Yeah, right?
Richie was whacked out of himself and into darkness. It was okay. It was a weird... Sounds painful. Like he got smacked upside the head and like disengages his mind from his body. Like a foot. So when they're in the deadlights, say I'm Audra or who else is in the deadlights? Somebody else. But is this like Insidious? Can my body then be possessed by something else, or am I technically still there? There's no answer to that. I was thinking of it.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a creepy guy playing like an old 1920s record. You've seen Insidious, right? Never.
Yeah. But
scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, that is a very good horror movie.
I like the first one. After that, it was kind of like, okay.
Those are more, I mean, I guess it is spiritual. It's like more demonic, whereas this is like, I guess he's not far from a demon, but it's the possession that Pennywise doesn't feel the same as like a demonic possession. So I don't imagine I don't imagine, but I guess it just depends on if there are other creatures in the area or not. So it's like, to me, I'm thinking Pennywise is the only one that would influence them.
Pennywise does the more feel good possession.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not good in that world. But it's a shapeshifter, right? I mean, it's been called that.
Well, duh. I mean,
in
the literal sense, it shifts shapes. I can't say that.
It's Russian against the post. Okay, so it could take any shape at once. So why show your natural form?
It doesn't.
Well, it shows the spider. That's
not even its natural form, though.
In this version of Earth in
well,
this
because
multiverse, that is its natural form. So
I think
maybe
the fear of luring a child in and then instantly flipping is probably greater than the fear of just showing up and killing. You know what I mean?
Well, he probably had no fear until 1957 or so. So maybe that's part of it. Just more.
No. I mean, for him, like, he's gonna get more fear. You're not gonna lure a child in as a spider, so like you just kill it. But there's not as much fear in that because it's instant.
Okay, yeah. Fear is a good spice. Need that billboard.
Well, maybe that's why it goes through the Chad ritual, because even though it can be potentially beaten, if it wins, it's a greater reward for it.
Yeah, it seems very childlike. So maybe it's being childlike as the ritual is, makes it a greater reward for him. Yeah, I don't know. Like, why? Go back to being the 60-foot bird and see how they like that.
Well, I mean, at this point, like, it's all mental anyway, because, Bill is just, at the first time, Bill, I think, is just standing there staring at it while they're like, what's going on?
Yeah, like, what are the rest of them doing? Where's Beverly?
Well, the second time, half of them are recovering, or dead, I guess.
I was thinking that too. So Ben's squishing the things. I guess he's still squishing while they're fighting it.
Yeah, and Richie and Bill are fighting it. Bev is with Eddie, I think. I don't know if she leaves him.
When they're adults or when they're kids?
Adults.
Kids. Also kids. So both.
No, Ben doesn't kill the eggs as kids, though.
Oh, the eggs.
That's what I was saying. The eggs are there when they're adults. So she's pregnant for 27 years.
Maybe she's been pregnant for 400 years. Who knows how long those things are incubated? Okay, so I was thinking about that backwards, totally. What the hell is Ben doing while they're fighting Pennywise? Spider.
I think they all just like run up and grab hands with whoever it is.
Ta-da.
At least as kids.
It's battery acid, you fuck.
I think they did. Didn't they all kind of do something?
I don't remember Beverly and Ben doing much. Just kind of skipped over it.
So I know they ran to help Bill. I just don't remember if it ever actually said how they were doing that.
I think Beverly. Oh, well, this is adults. Is with Eddie because he's about to die, and he looks up, and she's crying.
She says she doesn't want to leave him there. I remember that. Yeah, Richie was very adamant about that, and I can't say I disagree, but it's heartbreaking, but you can't take him with you. There's no way. Mm-hmm.
It just wouldn't happen. You'd be lucky if you get yourself out of there, much less carrying someone.
Mhm.
And that was not a short distance they traveled in the pitch black with the dead things and the big eyeballs waiting for you on the other, or maybe not the eyeball anymore, but the dead people speed bumps and just I can imagine that you would drop him a lot and he might not be in the greatest condition by the time you got out of there.
Yeah, especially because he's missing an arm, so there's like blood gushing, or still, and it's
Right.
not pretty.
Like Charlie with his dad in the bag.
Yeah.
It was like I kind of wanted to see what the bag looked like, and I kind of did.
No, I'm okay. I don't need to see that.
Right, but it wouldn't be that bad. But like you just couldn't get him out of it. It's horrible to have to make that decision, but you have to leave. Richie, if I remember right, Richie was really upset about that because I think him and Eddie were probably the closest. Well, Eddie and Bill were pretty close too. Actually, Richie was kind of close to everything because him and Stan had a thing, and him and Eddie had a thing. Like you didn't see much with like Eddie and Stan bonding, but Richie was kind of doing it with everybody. He's a slut too.
He didn't talk about it, but there was I remember there was at least one time where he said Stan and Eddie, I think, walked up together, like they were joking about something.
Yeah.
He made. I'm still going forward in the book. This is when they're adults, and he's about to kill him. He's about to grab the heart, kill it, and it's saying, "I can't give you eternal life, but I can touch you, and you will live long lives, 200 years, 300, perhaps 500. I can make you gods of the earth if you let me go. If you let me go. If you let me." I'm like, was he lying, or is that true? Like, does he possess that power?
I mean, right? I might have to take that deal. If he did possess that power, he would have given it to someone by now.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too.
But maybe he did. Maybe that's where Salem's Lot came from. So you'll live for 500 years, but you'll have to eat blood and live at night. So, and this is Pennywise, so that would make sense. Just saying. Oh, I just made it to Rebecca Paulson.
Well, I was actually going to say, it reminds me, he could have created someone like Randall Flagg.
Pennywise.
Like this person who has power and seems to be eternal.
Pennywise.
Obviously, that's just
much more powerful in this book than he ends up being in the overall scheme of things.
Pennywise?
So, yes. I mean, him. So you're basically saying Pennywise created Walter, and
not actually, but that was my first thought, is if you put evil into a person.
Oh, well, now if Pennywise was Walter, or Flag, that would be. I keep doing spoilers, and
that's what you mean about the grand scheme.
Yeah, him and Flag are kind of equals more than he kind of seems. It's him and a dead turtle, and there's nothing above that. They are
the final other.
Well, right, but I haven't seen that guy, so I can't say he actually exists.
He talks to him as an adult. He says, "You did good, son." Go away. What is that?
A lot of help you were, asshole. You don't call me son. Fuck off.
Son, you did real good. That's what it is.
Right? Maybe I wanted to have kids. Yeah, I forgot about that. He called him son. Get out of here with that. I would be mad if I went through all that and then this fucking random God voice is "Oh, you did good." You really are God because you didn't do anything to help. What the hell?
Well, he clearly gave him power because it was all gone after that.
Well, was that the turtle? And is that why the turtle died?
No, it's the other.
I mean, But you're saying he clearly gave him power. Maybe it came from the turtle and not from the other. Maybe because which one didn't get involved? That was the other, right? Or is that the turtle?
Well, it says the turtle might be dead, but whatever had invested it was not. Is that a typo or is that
Infested or invested?
invested? V.
So the other was in the turtle. Now it's getting complicated.
No, it doesn't say in. That's what's confusing. The turtle might be dead, but whatever had invested it was not. Oh, that's what invested means. I got it. Okay.
That's the way I'm taking it. It's kind of a weird.
Yeah, that's a weird sentence.
A weird verb to use, or what I think I know what he means. But there's a lot of words in that book. Maybe he was one of them. So
provide or endow someone or something with a particular quality or attribute. The turtle might be dead, but whatever. No, I think it's saying it the other way around. Whatever is higher than the turtle is certainly alive because that's what's helping them. I guess it could be the turtle because he does say might be dead.
Stephen King really doesn't like. I don't think the turtle's dead.
I don't think it really matters. I mean, has it come up since then?
Sure, in every forum in history. I mean, he gave a name, and he just kind of.
Does he even call him Maturin in this book?
I think he did, didn't he?
I don't remember.
That's right.
I don't really think it matters either.
Yeah. Go with it. There are other books than me. I think he has a real problem with spiders too.
I mean, I do think that makes a pretty good a monster battle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if you're gonna call it this unimaginable creature.
They were alien and somehow crawlingly dreadful. He supposed that none of them would ever be able to see another one without feeling a shudder of revulsion. I mean, you could probably say that already. I kind of get a little revolted. If the spider's too big, I don't want nothing to do with it. Like, no, you got to die. If you're maybe a fingernail, then you can hang out and eat bugs, whatever you got to do. If you're getting bigger than that, then we're going to have to talk. You might have to relocate.
It's the one with the fat butts that freak me out.
Yeah. All of them.
Oh, wait. Oh, I forgot. Abby. Oh, I mean, wow. Allie. Excuse me. We probably shouldn't talk about it.
What?
I am very arachnophobic.
Oh, well. So did the book help?
No, I think the book was part of what started the real fear of it. That and having a dead one land on me.
At least it was dead. Was it big?
Sizable. The size of the first finger joint.
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
I was cleaning out a closet or something and dusting, and it fell on me.
Well, at least it was dead.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, kind of hard to not talk about spiders when you're doing.
No. I've read this before, so of course I knew that ultimately that's the final shape it took.
I just meant maybe we shouldn't talk about how scary spiders can be.
Well, let me just say I agree. I'm always a little ew, a spider when I see one. But I'm if I'm turning the light off and this happened to me and I see a bug right before I turn the light off, nope. The light's going back on and I gotta find it and kill it before I can go to sleep.
Yeah.
Spiders tenfold. No. Because, once when I was 12, I heard a story about spiders laying eggs in people's mouth when they're sleeping. So now
that's not true.
Well, I know it. I also heard, what is it you eat 100 bugs in your sleep when you go to sleep at night or something like that?
It's not first of all, that is a myth also, and it's definitely not 100 a night.
Oh yeah? Well, you get Jamie and you bust it. I don't remember.
I feel it was 7. Are you talking about a different one than the spider one?
Not the spider one, just in general.
Okay.
Bugs. I don't remember what the number was, but it was like,
I mean, not everyone sleeps with their mouth open too. So
I don't actually, unless I'm sleeping on my back. I do a little bit.
but it's pretty rare. I mean, like, bugs want to survive, so they understand, like, especially if you move around at all, like, they're not gonna want to be near you. And I mean, I'm not gonna say they don't try to maybe go in your mouth sometimes, but you know.
I got an exterminator on call. That's all I know. I'm trying to live in a bug-free house. So.
Oh yeah, and I just looked it up. It says we actually don't swallow any spiders at all.
What about bugs? Do they lay eggs in my throat when I'm sleeping?
I can tell you that's no.
I guess the whole don't talk about that didn't work because I kind of went off on a tangent. All right. Anyway, spiders suck. They're weird alien-looking things, and now they're dead. And for real this time, right?
Pretty sure if you crush something's heart, it dies.
Yeah. I mean, I am surprised it even has like a heart, I guess. Not like in the, like, you know, it has a heart, but like that kind of creature has an actual heart.
That's true.
I was thinking it wouldn't, and then I was like, oh, right. Physical limitations, body and habits, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. I guess it does make sense if you think it has to be in this form to be able to feed. So to be in that form does give it limitations.
Well, how does it feed other before it ever took that form? How did it use, you know?
I don't know.
How did it feed before people?
I don't know.
See? Get complicated. Can't overthink it. I like the part. I was very excited when it was they were chasing it, and it's like, oh, you know, it sensed them coming. They were behind it. It was gonna live forever. And they're like, the last thing it says is like, it turned to fight. I'm like, oh, yeah, here we go. They're gonna fight, and then they kind of didn't. But this is after they already fought. Like, well, no, I guess that's when he rips his heart out. Wait, what year am I in? 1985. So yeah, so they're about to rip its heart out.
Yeah, it was very satisfying. Like, finally they get justice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for Stephen King character.
Oh, I'm about to read the next parts. Let's skip over that. You know, it's the scope of the book is amazing. That Eddie's really the only character that died, because I mean, protagonist, I guess I would say. Definitely not.
Yeah. Lots of other death to go around.
Yeah, peripheral people. You know, the Star Trek guy in the red shirt. You know that you're gonna.
Or the only protagonist that we end up caring about.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, because fuck Stan, is that where you're going?
Yeah.
Stan doesn't count. He's only in half the book, so he's not even a protagonist.
I like him more after rereading this and you know, seeing everything and seeing his perspective. Like, it's also kind of like, why do you care? Obviously, it still worked. 7 doesn't matter at all. So, like, the poor kid, like, you know, I don't know. I feel like you're not giving him a break. Enough of a break.
I mean, I definitely agree, poor kid, but you could say that about any of them.
Right.
I think
so
you're
I
saying
feel
poor
like
kid in reference to me, right?
It's... What do you mean?
Like I'm the one that's being too hard on him?
No. Like, no. Poor kid to Stan. No. Just like after everything that he saw, like he decided that he couldn't cope with it. Like that was the choice that he made, and you know, obviously he is not popular a choice, and it could have messed everything up. But I don't feel like, I don't hate him. I feel like I understand him a lot more now.
I understand him. I know why he did it, but fuck Stan. Like, he potentially, and he knew this when he did it, could have fucked the whole thing up and like killed everybody. He's like, well, I don't feel like dealing with that.
But that he didn't ask
It
for that
was selfish. It was super
choice.
Selfish. Well, I mean, I guess here's the question: how far does Pennywise's influence reach? Like, did he have something to do with that? Because he definitely knew.
I mean, I think if he could kill them from far away, he would have killed all of them.
Oh. Maybe some are easier than others.
Especially because he was slightly worried at that point since they had hurt him. Hurt it, whatever.
Right? Let's say they.
It's almost like it wanted them to come back, though, for that final confrontation. So
I think it wanted revenge, yeah.
I think it even says it wanted them to come back, and this time you're gonna die. You're all gonna die.
Yeah.
But then it's like, why? If that's the case, what's with the successful and no children? Like, wasn't that to keep them away from Derry?
I never really figured out what the point of that was.
I
so
thought,
you're all successful. Okay, so
you don't want to come back.
You're successful because you went through a hard time. Like, was that the turtle or the other hooking them up for what they went through? Was that Pennywise keeping him away because they fucked with him and he doesn't want to deal with them? But that's not what it was, because he wants them to come back.
Right. That's my confusion. That's because I thought it was
kids have to do? Like, how does that factor?
I think, I mean, what I was thinking was, like, if it was Pennywise, it's so that, like, you know, because I don't think he thinks especially that adults could kill him since they can't even fight him. So he's like, we don't want them having kids and having their kids fight me too.
Yeah, but would he want them to have kids so he can eat them?
I don't know. That's why I said, what is the point of that? And they clearly allude to it, so it is not an accident. So
I think I'm one of those tangents that he just kind of didn't know where to go with it, so he never took it any further.
Yeah.
Because I like the idea. I'm like, ooh, what does that mean? But you never get that. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Because I read, you know, a couple hundred, until they mentioned none of us had kids. It never even clicked that none of them had kids.
Well, I don't think I really picked up on the first time, like, remembering that they're all pretty successful too. Like, I remember that, like, Ben's an architect and Bev has her clothing brand, but it didn't dawn on me that they're all successful.
I remember that reading it, thinking, hey, they're all doing pretty good, except for Beverly. Beverly's really successful, but the way he wrote it, you couldn't really tell.
Well, it doesn't matter how successful you are if you're constantly in fear for your life, being abused.
Yeah, like, he wrote it as just very meekly successful. Like when he talks about Tom wiping out their accounts, like, there's just a couple $100,000 she's talking about, not like, $10,000 or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's almost like she's successful despite herself because she doesn't want to be. Or maybe that's a little hard. Maybe she doesn't. I don't know. I guess she does want to be, because she does end up most of the drive. I think Tom says something about how it was up because of him, but we all know that that's wrong.
Which
he needed a kick in the ass. Which Tom?
No. I was gonna say something. I was just gonna say, it reminded me. Oh, sorry. Finish your talk.
No, I'm good. Good.
Like, why did Bill and Beverly need to sleep together as adults? Like, what purpose did that serve? I don't even. Like, yeah, it's Bill's clearly
kind of a douchebag for that.
I understand that they all had, like, or maybe there was this sort of love triangle between Bev and Bill and Ben and or whatever, but like, clearly Ben and Bev are gonna be together, so it's like, what was was that to get them, like, pumped up for fighting, or like to make him care more about his wife? Because I feel like that didn't need to happen.
Yeah, the whole Audra, oh my God, my wife, I gotta save her life. Like, you weren't worried about that last night, were you?
Well, it felt especially, like, hard to feel as bad because of that. Like knowing that, it's like, why did you do that?
I wasn't that sympathetic, I never she wasn't the whole what is it called 3 uninvited guests with all them coming back. Henry's the only one that actually managed to, I don't know, do something.
Yeah.
Like they came all the way back and died.
Well, that's not actually true. Tom delivered Audra.
And died.
Right, he did something though.
Well, we missed, Tom's such an asshole. We missed his whole death. They just go, oh, there's Tom. Yeah, he's dead.
Well, that's kind of just like, it's Pennywise. Like, he gave Patrick a gruesome death, and he definitely deserved that. But it's. But I didn't. He doesn't give the worst guys worse deaths. You know what I mean?
We didn't give him any death. We didn't see it. You spend so much time hating this guy because of what he's doing. You want to see, get his, what they call it, comeuppance.
I agree, but I think that's kind of what I was saying. You just don't you don't always get that satisfaction.
Yeah. I mean, what do you want, the book to be longer? Good go.
That would be.
He could write a sequel to this with their kids and shit. That would be cool.
But how? Because they're are they all gonna go back to Derry, or is it of their separate lives?
They're gonna get called back to Derry and not know why.
Mike's
maybe
gonna be
maybe Ben missed an egg. That's all.
It's a very likely possibility.
I know. We probably likely missed a bunch of them.
Yeah. The end of the book kind of makes it sound like Derry's not gonna come back from this, though.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's kind of
the first time I read it, and even kind of second that, it didn't sound like there was anything left of Derry to come back. The whole, if you picture, the canal kind of runs through the middle of the town. So if everything around the canal collapsed, the town's gone.
I was thinking it's literally Canal Street now.
Right. It the edges, there might be some stuff, but the town is not going to be there. It's just going to be floating away into the Candustig, I think that's whatever the river is. So I don't think my impression was he destroyed the town. There wasn't anything to come back.
Yeah. It kind of sounded like they were going to try and start rebuilding, but then all the investors were like, nah. Good luck, bye.
Yeah, that was such a strange part, reading. It was almost financial or a documentary part, talking about the history of what happened after the big flood at Derry. And it's okay, cool.
Those are some of my favorite parts. I love that. Remember we first started doing this, I was taking notes and I just stopped. I was doing the Derry history. It got to be it was already taking me long enough to read it because I was highlighting, taking notes, and I'm gonna have to go back and if I really want to do that and read it just for that, because it's very time consuming. But there's so much history.
Well, also having seen some of the places that this is inspired of, picturing the standpipe falling over on the town is terrifying. We were there. I was picturing standing with us near the bird bath, and then that thing wiping us out.
Mm-hmm. Sitting on that bench. Yeah.
Oh my god.
When
and it's at the top of the hill.
What? The way the park goes down, slopes into Stu's house.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at that standpipe, I picture the 2 dead kids floating around in there.
Me too. I picture them in the freaking windows.
Yeah. Come play with us, Danny.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, you know what that's from? That's
Shining.
That's Salem's Lot. Oh wait, no, that is The Shining. My fault.
Yeah.
Salem's Lot is I can't remember. We have to watch that too. There's 5 different versions of Salem's Lot before the new one comes out.
But I do think that speaks more to the theory of that, like, the town was Pennywise. I mean, so when he was killed, the town collapsed.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what he was thinking. Maybe, yeah, it might be. It might just be as simple as that. Sometimes
Even here.
Yeah.
Sorry, here at the end where Bill is talking about Audra, he's thinking about Audra, and he says, that might be the last mention, because I probably would have highlighted it, where he says, pretty soon I'll be floating her.
I'll be floating her. Was that a coincidence? And that's, okay, so, where the last interlude starts. I don't know what page that is for you guys. But the part right before that, if you just read like that last page right before the interlude, where they all kind of, swear that they'll come back, and then like they walk off and two go this way, and they all just kind of go home, and then I think Bill watches them go home, and then it's like after a block or two, he begins to walk faster, thinking of supper. At a block or two after that, he begins to whistle, like right there. End it. That's it. Just, you don't need anything after that. I don't need Audra on a bike. I don't need. Well, that's all. Is there any?
It just talks about them forgetting things, which I think is
Right.
already implied anyway. So I agree. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that would have been the perfect spot to end it. Yeah, because then he talks about them forgetting, like, great, we get it, you forgot. And now Mike's forgetting, and I think the words are disappearing or something.
Yeah.
yeah, the
kinda
words are fading.
Yeah, that pisses me off. Like, wait, I lived through this twice and I'm not going to remember any of it? Because on Mike, I'm going, damn, why are you such a loser? Still a fucking librarian in Derry. What the hell? Why didn't you ever do anything with it?
I mean, it kind of does, like, this. Again, it's like, oh my gosh. I understand, like, Stephen King's whole thing is it's not the destination, it's the journey. Because it's like they've gone through all of this to now have it all wiped out. Existence.
There's a part. Did I tell you about the Wheel of Time? Remember?
From the book?
Yeah, there's like 15 books. Amazon just started a TV show.
Oh no.
And they keep saying stuff like, it's called the Wheel of Time. So there's certain correlations with other things we know.
Right.
That are wheels. But it's interesting because every time they say time is the wheel, I'm like, no, wait. I was like, wait a minute. Did he read Robert Jordan? Now I need to find out if he's a Robert Jordan fan. Because I think that was before him. But he says something that's the last paragraph. It's the last fucking word of the book. It's nice. I
highlighted that. Yeah.
In the morning's clean silence, to think that childhood has its own sweet secrets and confirms mortality, and that mortality defines courage and love. I think what look forward must also look back, and that each life makes its own imitation of immortality. A wheel, you motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Feels like this jumps right into the Dark Tower.
Like, I feel like I should read The Gunslinger now. At least The Stand. So there you go. That's it. Any thoughts? I got tons of thoughts. I love this book. It might be my favorite book. And that's hard to do with Stephen King. I have a lot of favorite books, but I loved going back. Like when we first started, I was like a warm blanket. Like, I'm putting on like all these familiar people. Like, we're hanging out again. Like, warm. I mean, the Summit to Chill isn't warm and cozy, but if anyone knows me, then they know that makes me warm and cozy.
I definitely feel that way too. Like, there's so many characters and so many things that happen and so much jumping of the timeline that, like, it's easy to forget things too. So it's almost like I feel like you're rereading it every single time.
Yeah. And you can always notice different things and make different connections too, which is really fun.
Yeah. And especially with all the books he's written, there's so many Easter eggs now. Like, you go, oh, he said it. Oh, check that out.
There's so much, like, you can tell this is not when he had his full plan for the Dark Tower, but there's so many undertones to it where it's like, oh, like you're cooking up something.
Yeah, this is it. Which one was 87? Was that Drawn to the Three or is that Wastelands?
I don't know. You would know.
Drawn to the Three was 87, so I think that's the one he wrote at the same time as this.
Yeah, so that makes sense because that was.
It almost does.
I don't even know if 19 was out at that point yet.
No, that 19 showed up after he got hit by the car. So that showed up in like the last 3 books. As a matter of fact, I think the first time they talk about 19 is in Wolves of the Callow when she's going toe dash.
I thought weren't they walking? Maybe that's the beginning of Wolves of the Callow. Because I remember they're walking and they keep seeing it everywhere.
Yeah, they do a lot of walking.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
We definitely eventually need to get to Dark Tower.
We will. All right. That is it for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of sad. I wish there was another book that I could read and we could talk about some more. But maybe we'll podcast a movie too while we're watching it. I don't know. Is that a thing?
Be long, but we could.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm gonna miss those guys. Like I said, I'm always sad. But the better the book, the sadder I am when I can't read anymore about them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You feel like you're part of their lives.
Yeah, like my best friends just left. You know, at times that was true though. They were, you know, some of those characters, some of his books were my best friends during some dark times. So definitely a loss. So, okay, everybody good?
Yeah. We'll see you next time.
Well, yeah. End of episode. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye.